As someone that listens to a lot of music, one of my favorite experiences is when you're listening to a song you just recently got hip to, and whether it be a lyric or maybe the hook as a whole or whatever the case may be, but something just clicks and you finally understand what the song was really about, and it just makes it 10 times better than it was before. When that happens, it's easily just one of the more satisfying things ever, and it's exactly the thing that happened when I was listening to Free Fall by Tems featuring J. Cole. Now, what originally drew me into this song was the overall sound of it, the way the production was set up, how Tems and J. Cole each performed on the song, and just the whole rhythm and flow of it was beautiful and it was awesome to listen to. But I started to notice that they were almost telling a story throughout it. The song opens with Tems giving us this soft falsetto that matches the production, also starting off very soft, but almost kind of like giving a weightless feel to it. And it makes sense when she starts to sing about specifically falling in love with this man, and this man seemingly falling back in love with her too. Now the first verse builds off this with Tems singing directly to this person she's fallen in love with, talking about how she feels hopeless in the moment while falling in love with him, emphasizing the free fall metaphor here. But it's almost as if it's a negative thing and she really wants to say helpless, as she's kind of going in the next part of the verse, framing it as a negative thing, saying how she can't fight off what he's doing in her mind, even though supposedly they're supposed to be falling in love. But from there, Tems doubles down into the next line, saying how, she's sorry that you don't know what to do with her, and that, you can't be calling on me while not knowing how to treat me. So honestly, I'm just going to close this off. You're done. Your time's up. And from there, we get into the hook where Tems continues these feelings, saying how she knew this was going to work from the jump. And not only has she had enough and she'd rather be alone, but she'd rather run away, which comes as a surprise not only to the listener, but also to J. Cole, who plays the man in this relationship that's going on. And in Cole's verses where we see the man's side of the story. And he immediately calls this toxic and a plot twist, because this caught him off guard too. But he also recollects the fact that when he was first getting to know her and getting to her, she seemed to be trying to lock him out or keep him out in some way, shape, or form. Now at this point, Cole says he doesn't really have many options other than maybe trying to fight through in some way, shape, or form with her to make it work, or just to move on confused. And it kind of seems like he decides to move on confused as he prepares to move on from her physically, getting her stuff out of his closet. And while Cole is moving her stuff out of his closet and everything, he's starting to think about where the relationship should have been, how he wanted to be able to do, the general relationship stuff, but they didn't even get a chance to do it because she just blew it all up in his face, further emphasizing the point that this is coming out of nowhere for him and he really doesn't know what he did wrong. On top of that, Tems is phrasing this in a way as if it's entirely his fault, which in Cole's mind, which we're in right now, he's saying is that there's no way you could have thought that this was possibly on your part too. But ultimately he backs down and says, you know what, if I gotta take all the credit, I'll do that. Let's just move on. From here, Cole kind of starts to reflect on the situation as a whole, recognizing that maybe him and the girl both didn't recognize that, while things may start off smooth, there's always going to be a storm at the end. And in order to really get through those storms, you have to have devotion as deep as an ocean. And having learned this about the song and now re-listening to it multiple times, knowing how the song progresses in the story of it, it just makes it that much more beautiful and more fun to listen to, even though it's a sad song. As a whole, though, if you're not already hip, go get hip. This is a fantastic song, and listen to the whole album that Tems just dropped. I'm gonna catch y'all.